We've all heard about various cyber attacks from 2017 Equifax breach to SolarWinds attacks. These post connection attacks aren't just theoretical, but some of the high profile breaches that allowed the attackers to move laterally, access sensitive data, and exfiltrate millions of records over several months. Welcome back to Orek Technologies. Today we are diving into the world of post-connection attacks, a critical phase where attackers can do the most damage. We'll cover the various tactics hackers use after gaining initial access, how these attackers work, and what you can do to defend against them. Let's jump right in. What are post-connection attacks? Post-connection attacks, also known as post-exploitation attacks, occur after a hacker has successfully infiltrated a system or network. Gaining initial access is just the first step. The real goal is what they do afterwards. Post-connection attacks involves action like privilege escalation, data exfiltration, lateral movement within a network, and even setting up backdoors for future access. These attacks can be devastating because they allow the hackers to dig deeper, gather sensitive information, and sometimes maintain persistent control over the compromised system. Let's explore some of the most common post-connection tactics hackers use. Once inside a network, attackers have a wide array of tactics at their disposal. Here are some of the most common post-connection attacks. Privilege escalation. Attackers often start with limited user access. Privilege escalation involves exploiting system vulnerabilities to gain higher level access, like admin or root privileges, which unlocks full control over the system. Second, lateral movement. These tactics involve moving from one compromised machine to another within the network. Attackers use this strategy to explore and compromise additional systems, looking for valuable data or further access points. Third, credential dumping. One of the main targets for attackers post-connection is obtaining credentials. Tools like minicards are often used to dump stored passwords from memory, which can then be used to access other parts of network. Fourth, data exfiltration. Attackers might steal sensitive data, including financial records, intellectual property, or personal information. This data can be stored, used for ransom, or leveraged in further attacks. Fifth, persistence. To maintain access, hackers might install backdoors or use scheduled tasks, registry changes, or rootkits. This ensures they can re-enter the system even if their initial entry point is discovered or blocked. Sixth, covering tracks. A crucial part of post-connection activity is covering tracks to avoid detection. This can include deleting logs, altering time spans, or disguising malwares to look like legitimate files. Let's look at some of the most popular tools that are commonly used in post-connection attacks. Minicards, primarily used for credential dumping. It is a go-to tool for extracting plain text passwords, hashes, pins, and Kerberos ticket for memory. PowerShell Empire, a post-exploitation framework that uses PowerShell agents for executing command, gathering information, and maintaining access. Not just for gaining access, Metasploit has a range of post-exploitation modules for escalating privileges, capturing screenshots, logging keystrokes, and more. Bloodhound, a tool used for mapping out active directory environments to find hidden relationships and paths, high-value targets. These tools, among others, make it easy for hackers to explore compromised environments and maximize the impact of their attacks. So how can organizations defend against post-connection attacks? Here are some key strategies. Network segmentation. Limit the ability of attackers to move laterally by segmenting networks and enforcing strict access control. Regular patching. Keep systems and software up to date to reduce the number of vulnerabilities that can be exploited for privilege escalation or lateral movement. Least privilege principle. Only give users and applications the minimum permission necessary for function. Limit privilege principle. Only give users and applications the minimum permission necessary to function, reducing the potential damage from compromised accounts. Monitoring and logging. Implement robust monitoring to detect unusual activity quickly. Set up alert for suspicious action like unauthorized privilege escalation or access to sensitive data. Endpoint detection and response. Use ERD tools to detect and respond to suspicious activities on endpoints such as unauthorized access attempts or malware execution. User education. Train staff on recognizing phishing and other social engineering attacks that could lead to initial compromise and subsequent post connection attacks. And that's a wrap on post connection attacks. From privilege escalation to data exfiltration, these attacks represent the real danger once a system is breached. By understanding these tactics and implementing strong security measures, you can help protect your network from devastating effects of successful post connection attacks. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you never miss out on our latest cybersecurity content. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.